Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a Did You Know? Let's talk a little about shopping online and traveling and the hidden bank fees that are around. Did you know that every time you shop online, depending on where the bank is located that the company uses that you're about to buy from, you could be getting hit with hidden bank fees, particularly when shopping online in overseas companies. I'm talking about hidden transaction fees and hidden currency conversion fees. Now, the thing is, it may seem pretty obvious. You buy something from America, for example, online here in Australia, you pay in US dollars, you're going to get hit with some sort of currency conversion transaction fee if you use your regular NAB, Commonwealth Bank, Westpac type credit card, debit card. But what if the company you're buying from is an Australian company? Sometimes Australian companies use banks that are actually located offshore for whatever reason. Now, that means that you might pay for a transaction in Australian dollars, but because the bank is actually located overseas, which you won't know, you can still get hit with a currency conversion transaction fee. So just keep an eye out for that on your statement. Check your debit card, credit cards. If there seems to be a few little dollars popping up in fees every time you buy something online, you may want to check with that particular company, especially if it's a recurring purchase you're making, to see if they're using an offshore bank. Now, let's just talk about the obvious for now, as in shopping online and traveling. Whenever you shop online, you should always use a credit card or debit card which is tailored specifically for shopping online. In other words, they're selling points that they don't charge fees for online overseas purchases. The fees that I'm talking about there's two of them. Number one is a transaction fee. Now, that is usually about 3%, no matter which bank you use. If you buy something overseas, now, it can be done online, or it could even be you're standing in the middle of Paris about to pay for a coffee with your card, debit card or credit card. If you're using a regular card, you could be hit with a 3% transaction fee. Now, 3% may not seem like a lot, but if you're on a holiday and you're doing purchases here, there, and there, and paying $1 or $2 each time, it all adds up. Trust me, I've seen it. Same like if you're purchasing over online, and every time you're purchasing anything, whether it be a $5 purchase or a $10 purchase, if there's a little extra popping up every now and again, the end result is you're paying more than everyone else. So you need to be just conscious that there are fees involved. So transaction fees. And the other one is also a cash withdrawal fee. So if you're traveling and you go and use your ATM card to get out cash, and say you're in Europe somewhere and your Aussie bank card spits out some euro for you, you're going to get hit also with a cash withdrawal fee. Now, that can be anywhere from 2 or 3% up to a minimum of $4, and that obviously goes up depending on how much you're buying. So my point is, if you're traveling, if you're buying overseas, stick to a card that is tailor-made for that type of thing. If you have a Google, there are plenty of cards out there online available now. This is not a recommendation to use any of those cards. I do use some of them myself. Read all about it. Check if they're good for you. Make sure you read the terms and conditions, and then go ahead as you like. The cards I'm talking about are, number one, the 28 Degrees MasterCard. This one's been around for a while. It has changed a little bit over the years in that they never used to charge a international transaction fee or an ATM card fee. And I've also checked the conversion. So whenever you do make a purchase, sometimes there can be hidden fees in that the card will give you a really crap conversion rate for a currency exchange. It's actually pretty good. The thing is, now that card's changed, they no longer charge a international transaction fee, but if you do take cash out whilst you're overseas, you'll be hit with 3% or a $4 minimum. Still not bad, but I personally, if I'm using that card overseas, I would only use it to make purchases on. I wouldn't take any cash out of it. Another card available is the Bankwest Zero MasterCard. That has nil transaction fees. So when you're buying something online or buying something standing in the middle of Paris, there's no transaction fees just because you're overseas. That does have a 2% fee or a $4 minimum if you're taking out cash. So slightly lower than the 28 Degrees MasterCard. If you're looking for a debit type card, which is not a credit card, it's just a regular bank account, comes with a debit card, but that you can use overseas, like with Visa or MasterCard facilities. There's a Citibank Plus Everyday account. Now, that has nil transaction fees and nil cash withdrawal fees if you use a Citibank ATM overseas. I've looked into this one for myself. Problem is there's a few Citibank ATMs disappearing of late. So there's not as many as there used to be for whatever reason. Just probably a lot of things being done online now and less actual physical ATMs. So personally, that one's a little restrictive. You have to use Citibank ATMs to get the fee-free withdrawals. ING, Orange Everyday Savings Account, is a fairly new one to pop up. This one is free to make purchases and free to take out money, cash. The catch is, though, you need to have at least $1,000 a month deposited into it, like your salary, and also make a number of transactions per month. It's about 10, I think it is. So that one also can be a little bit restrictive if you can't meet those criteria. And one more is the HSBC Global Account. That too is just a debit account, no credit card attached, but you can still use your debit card, obviously, overseas and online. And that has nil transaction fees for foreign exchange, and also nil currency conversion and nil withdrawal fees for cash. Now, the thing with all these cards saying nil fees, nil fees, nil fees, banks don't do anything for free. So there's always something hidden somewhere. The way that they make their money is that there'll be no fee as such for you to take out cash, for example, but the conversion that they give you from Aussie dollar to euro, for example, may or may not be that great. 28 degrees, for example, I've tested that several times, whether I'm making purchases or taking out cash. The conversion rate is actually pretty spot on. It's pretty good. So there's actually not a lot of money there that they're making. Whereas another one that I've checked, the currency conversion that I can tell so far seems to be about 2%. So whilst there's no fees as such to take money out, no fees as such to make an online purchase, if you do a transaction in another currency, whether it be cash or buying something, there seems to be about a 1 to 2% currency conversion fee. So there's always a fee somewhere. My point is, only pay minimal fees wherever possible. Why would you want to pay more? Get a card or a bank account specifically tailored for that. Get one that doesn't charge any currency conversion fees where possible, as in transaction fees. And get one that doesn't charge you to take out money, if possible, in cash. That one can be a little bit hard, but at least try and minimize it to one that's low, like the 2% ones, for example. And then when you are using it, it does pay just to check every now and again, a couple of your transactions, just check what you paid in Aussie dollars compared to what the Aussie dollar was on that day. It's a quick Google search. It takes you a few minutes, and you can actually tell if your currency conversion is spot on or not. Don't just use your everyday ATM card or your everyday credit card. You're going to be getting hit with fees left, right, and center. And you know what? If you're away for a few weeks, that can really add up. So moral of the story is more money in your pocket rather than the bank's. See you next time.